Hello, my name is Allison Trevor, and welcome to another KCRAR Forms video tutorial. In this video, we'll be going over the exclusive buyer agency contract. You should present the exclusive buyer agency contract after you've presented the brokerage relationships brochure to a buyer. First, you will need to find out how your buyer signs their names legally. In other words, how would they like to take title? Also, insert on the first line their marital status. On line 2, write the name of your brokerage, like ABC Realty, for example. Even though in this parentheses after it says broker, it is not your broker's name, rather it is the name of the brokerage. Moving on to paragraph 2, general description of property. In this section, more than one type of property box can be checked. For example, maybe you have an investor looking for commercial and residential properties. In that instance, you would mark the boxes indicating both of those. General location can be very open, such as Kansas or Missouri, or very defined, such as the name of a town, neighborhood, school district, etc. Just remember that if you have a town listed and the buyer purchases in an adjoining town, you might not be protected in your buyer's agreement. Approximate price range also can be a very large range or very small range, but the same rule applies. You might not be covered if the buyer looks outside the range you have listed. Paragraph 3 addresses the length of your agreement. This would be something to discuss with your broker. An agreement can be as short as 1 day, just to cover showings that day, or as long as multiple years. Paragraph 4 is buyer representations. Thoroughly review this section with the buyer. The buyer needs to understand that they are signing a binding contract. Paragraph 5 is broker's obligations. Again, keep in mind that once it is signed, this is a legally binding contract. You, as the agent, need to understand your obligations. Please make sure you understand everything in paragraph 5 and can fully explain to the buyers. Paragraph 6 addresses compensation, or how you will get paid. Make sure the buyer understands that usually your broker will be paid at closing the amount shown as the selling commission in MLS, or whatever is listed in the blank in this paragraph. However, there are other consequences if they do not purchase the property listed in the MLS, as explained in this paragraph. Please, please, please make sure the buyer understands 6A completely. The other commission blank is where you would address anything additional that you or your brokerage may charge. Paragraphs 6, C, D, and E explain what happens in the event the buyer purchases a property after your buyer agency contract has expired. Make sure you and your buyers fully understand these paragraphs. Paragraph 7 should be just a review of what you already explained to the buyer about agency. Paragraph 8 discloses what type of agency your brokerage authorizes. The buyer acknowledges and consents to the boxes checked. Paragraph 9 is the cost of services paragraph. You as an agent will not be responsible for choosing, ordering, or paying for other services, such as inspections or surveys, unless buyer authorizes so in writing. Paragraph 10, disclosure of broker's role. This paragraph states that you, as a buyer's agent, must disclose to other brokers, agents, and sellers that you are working as a buyer's agent. Paragraph 11 authorizes you to disclose the buyer's identity. Although the buyer does give you the right to disclose their identity by signing this contract, it is always a good idea to keep information confidential. Paragraph 12 is often looked over, so please make sure your buyer understands that you might also be working with other buyers who are looking for the exact same property they are, and even may be writing a competing offer on the same property. Make sure the buyer understands that if this happens, all information on all offers will remain confidential. Paragraph 13 states that this contract cannot be assigned. Paragraph 14 includes a box you will check if you are a member of a franchised company. Paragraph 15 addresses legal and professional advice. Always keep in mind that you are not an attorney, inspector, or expert on specialized items, so you should not be dispensing advice on such areas. If your buyer has questions, refer them to professionals in that particular area. Paragraph 16 states that this is the entire agreement. You do not have any side agreements, and any changes will be made in writing. Paragraph 17 addresses cyber protection. Cybercrime happens, and sometimes it costs buyers thousands of dollars they've been saving for a home. To do everything you can to prevent this from happening to your buyer, be sure they know they should never wire funds without confirming first directly by phone call. There is also a separate cyber protection disclosure in the KCRAR Forms Library that is good to review with buyers and have signed. The box at the end of the contract contains blanks to indicate the names of designated agents, if applicable. If the designated agent is a member of a team, all team members must be listed here as well. There is also a blank for your broker's signature, which must be filled in if the property is located in Missouri. Finally, just sign at the bottom and have your buyer do the same, and that's it for the exclusive buyer agency contract. Thanks so much for watching.